power out. Slept in, stayed up really late last night, slept in, power was out, woke up to it. But neighbor said the power was out across town, so I don't know what the deal is. So anyway, making me a cup of coffee. And can't start the apocalypse without a good cup of coffee, you know. So yeah, you gotta wait for that. So well, power's still out. It is probably 100 and something degrees here today, the heat index. But it's, at least there's a breeze outside, you know. This, not sure why the power's out. I roll in a couple of updates I got off the phone and stuff, so apparently all the power's not out because the phones were still working, you know. But you know, that's kind of why we prep, you know. It's hot. I've been sweating, but you know, that's one of the reasons you prep. You know, you have things. You know, I was still able to have that cup of coffee. You know, so just things like that. You know, and everything else. But that's why you do it. But so, yeah. It's a hot son of a bitch. That's why I'm standing out here under a shade tree, because there is no breeze inside at all. So hopefully it won't be out too long. But that deal said there was like 4,300 plus people out of power. So it's pretty widespread there throughout a lot of the town. But you just make do, man. You know, that's how you do it. Just go, you know. Got to think, you know, people not that long ago didn't have air conditioning at all, didn't even exist, you know, so, and they made it through, you know, they made it through. Just do things, just prepare for it. But that's it. Hopefully it'll be back on. Hopefully. Well, power came back on for about a minute, went back off. Power came back on, got 10 minutes, went back off. Came on for a minute, then went back off. And then now it's back on, but we'll see. So I don't know exactly what the problem was. Could be heat related, it's my guess, you know. Happens sometimes, transformer blows or something, you know, gets, you know, too hot, because it happens here, you know, because it gets hot here in Oklahoma. I mean, yesterday we broke one of the hottest, earliest days of the year. So, and last night on the news they said we had a heat index of 109 right here. So temperature was 102 or 3 or something, 101, something like that, but the actual heat index, what it feels like, is 109. So it usually doesn't get like that until July and August. So we might be in for a hot year. Suck. Because, you know, you've heard me say before, I hate the heat. But, you know, I mean, you know, it's makes me think, you know, when something like this happens as a permanent basis, you know, that's why you prep. You know, you prep because, you know, if an EMP happens or weather related where power's out for weeks at a time, you know, you prep for it. Prep foods and water and all that, because you got to think though, if it's out for a considerable period of time, hours and days, you know, the stuff in your refrigerator and freezer is going to get ruined. You know, the freezer, you know, if you don't open it up and close it a bunch of times, it might last, you know, 24 hours or so. Refrigerator, you know, your stuff's going to be spoiled pretty quickly. But so you know, you want to cook that stuff up as quickly as possible. You can use it as quickly as possible. Use it first. But you know, beyond that though, that's why you store foods, prep foods, things like that, and just other items. But you know, with this heat, you got to think though too. Heat, with the heat like it is, it's not going to take very long before people start getting angry, start getting mad. You know, because it's just, that's the way it is when you get hot like that. It just, your anger can get, you know, build up. So you got to be prepared for that as well. So, you know, because they, you know, people might not be prepped like a lot of us are. So you got to be prepared to deal with people, you know, because if you're going to ride it out, and you know, that's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect, you know, your neighbors, your distant neighbors in the town and everything, and also yourself. You know, you have to be, you know, you have to be aware of that, so you can be like, so it's important, you know, when they say keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself hydrated. Because I was drinking that hot cup of coffee, and I was hotter than, you know, I probably should have been, because I wasn't drinking something like this. So hopefully the power won't stay off too long, but you know, actually I think it's on actually right now, so it's still on, so that's good. But yeah, it's just things to think about, you know. Makes you think about when you're doing it, you know, when it's happening. It makes you think about, you know, some of the things that you need to be thinking about that you should already have, and things like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm done rambling on here. So keep it heavy.